Welcome to RISK66 Accelerated Training video on retention levels and volatility. I'm Tim Coomer. Let's get started. We're going to start out by addressing several common questions. First, what is volatility? Second, what is the relationship between volatility and retention levels? And finally, how do I choose a retention level that's right for me? So what is volatility? To explain this, let's start with the basics. Under a compensation or liability policy, an individual claim is given an amount that a claims adjuster expects it to cost before it is considered closed. This is the incurred amount. Now, this amount can range from hundreds to even millions of dollars, depending on the claim. This starting value is one type of what we'll call claim volatility. However, this isn't the only type of volatility that can affect a claim. In some cases, circumstances that the claims adjuster missed or could not have known can cause a claim to require a larger or smaller incurred amount than was what previously was set aside. Now, this is another type of claim volatility. So the initial amount can be variable, and even once that initial amount is set, we can see variations in the amount over time as more information is disclosed or learned about the claim. So what is loss volatility? These claims, which are then grouped together by their policy period and summed, create an amount that is called the total incurred losses for that specific period. Now, because each of these claims can experience either kind of claim volatility that we mentioned earlier, so can the total incurred losses. For the purposes of this video, we'll refer to the volatility of this sum as loss volatility. Now, loss volatility is almost always unique between companies, policies, and even the periods within the policy. Due to the loss volatility, predicting the total incurred losses can be complicated and cumbersome to the uninitiated. That's where your actuary comes in handy. So let's look at a quick graphic just to see an example of loss volatility at the claim level. This organization has had 10 claims, and you can see the first claim they had was about $5,500, and then it varied all the way down to claim 7, which looks very small, up to the top claim being claim 4, just above $8,000. So this is typical of what we see, claims varying in amounts from very small to large, and this is the volatility of the loss at the claim level. Reducing volatility can be tackled from a number of different angles, but this video will focus on reduction via insurance with various retention levels. As we said before, claims can experience two kinds of volatility. In order to shield themselves from volatility causing claims to increase to unmanageable levels, companies purchase insurance plans with a typically static retention level. There are two major types of retentions, a per occurrence and an aggregate retention. First, let's talk about the per occurrence retention. The first and most common type of insurance retention is called per occurrence. It works to reduce each claim's volatility by setting a ceiling on how high a claim can go before the insurance company takes over. Now, in our example here, we have a claim that is unlimited and would cost us $6,000 if we did not have any coverage at all. If we choose a $3,000 retention, then the claim is going to be limited to $3,000. This reduces the volatility of the claim. Let's look at how this affects loss volatility. By limiting the volatility of each claim in a policy period, one can therefore reduce the volatility of the entire period. Since no claim can extend past a certain amount, a company can more easily control their total incurred losses in a given period. In the following slides, we will be showing a couple visual examples of how an insurance retention works to limit volatility. Now, be sure to note that introducing a retention limit does not necessarily mean a company expects every claim to hit that limit, which is something we'll delve into a little later. Okay, in this first graphic here, what we show is 10 claims that a company has experienced, and we show the unlimited loss amount, and next to that we show the impact of a $2,000 per occurrence limit on the claims, and you can see it greatly reduces the individual volatility of the claims. Now in this example we show the same 10 claims, but this time we have a higher retention at $5,000, And you can see at the higher retention, we're picking up a lot more variability in the individual claim, so we have more loss volatility at this higher per occurrence retention. So why should you choose a higher retention level? This is a common question among those being introduced to the idea of a retention level. Essentially, it comes down to the fact that insurance plans with lower retention levels tend to have higher premiums than those with higher retention levels. In order to weigh the pros and cons of each retention level, companies must consider what is called their appetite for risk. In a simplistic world, companies would simply choose the lowest retention level possible and be happy paying the static premium that comes with it. Of course, this is rarely the case. Realistically, companies make an attempt to save money by choosing a delicate balance between loss volatility and static insurance payments. The amount of potential volatility chosen is considered one's appetite for risk, as it indicates how much of a gamble they are willing to take. Note that a large number of factors can affect how large one's appetite for risk is. These include anything from confidence in one's risk management department to company-wide initiatives to reduce injury or accidents. This is unique to every organization. Let's look at an example where we have a higher cost for a low retention. So in example 1 here, the per occurrence retention is $1,000, and we're going to pay a $2,000 premium for that policy. In example 2, we have a retention at $2,000, and the premium we're going to pay for that policy is $1,000. Now, using just some example 5 claims at $100, $800, $200, $1,400, and $400, we can see in example 1 with the $1,000 retention that a fourth claim, that $1,400 claim, is going to be limited to $1,000. So our total claim amount that we're going to be responsible for is going to be $2,500. Where in the example 2, we have a total amount of claims because we did not hit the $2,000 retention. We're going to pay all of those claims at $2,900. So in this case, the combined cost of the premium plus the retained losses in example 1 is greater at the lower retention. Now let's look at a slightly different example. In example 1 here, we have a $1,000 retention, in example 2, a $2,000 retention. The premium for the $1,000 retention is going to be $2,000. For the $2,000 retention is going to be $1,000. Now we have a little different mix of losses than we did in the previous example. We have a $100, a $1,400, $200, $2,500, and $400 claim. So in example 1 there, 2 of the claims get limited to $1,000. And so the total cost of the limited claims is $2,700. Example 2, we see that only the $2,500 claim is going to be limited to the $2,000 retention. And so the cost of the limited claims is going to be $4,100. Now in this example, if we add up the premium plus the retained losses, the example 2, which has the higher retention, actually winds up costing us more. So this can happen also depending on the volatility of the losses. As you've just seen, choosing either a higher retention or lower retention is not a guarantee of saving money. In many cases, companies make the decision to choose a higher or lower retention arbitrarily, without regarding any type of analytics. If so, they are ignoring a very valuable asset. There are a great deal of analyses available for companies who wish to make their retention decision more than an uncalculated guess. By engaging these analyses and communicating their results clearly to the decision makers, a company can have even greater control over their decision and thus have a better chance of choosing the correct amount of volatility. If you're interested in finding out how advanced your decision making is in terms of analytics, contact Sigma and we can help you evaluate your decision making process. There is one more common type of retention that we wish to cover. Aggregate retentions work similarly to per occurrence retentions, but instead of limiting each claim, the company decides a total incurred loss amount per policy period that they do not wish to pay more than. Typically, though, this is used in conjunction with a per occurrence retention and is used to further limit loss volatility. Now let's look at an example that demonstrates how the aggregate limit would work for a policy. In example 1, we have a $1,000 per occurrence limit, but we have no aggregate limit. In example 2, we have a $1,000 per occurrence limit and a $2,000 aggregate limit. So we have 5 claims that occurred during the year: a $400, $1,400, $600, $2,500, and $300 claim. Now, in example 1, you see that the $1,400 and $2,500 claims get limited to $1,000 on a per occurrence basis. And then the next column over, the cumulative retained for example 1, shows that we are adding up how much we're retaining through the year, and there's no limit to that. So at the end of the year, we've got $3,300 in retained claims. So in example 2, we see that the $400 claim was retained. The $1,400 claim was limited to $1,000. That was the per occurrence limit. That's our retention per occurrence. And then once we hit the $600 claim, that hits our maximum, our aggregate limit. So that's our aggregate retention of $2,000. And so we will not have any more losses above the $2,000 aggregate limit, even though we have a couple more losses that occurred during the year. So that limits our overall losses paid under example 2 to $2,000 versus the $3,300 under example 1. So in this case, the aggregate retention reduced the total claims retained by $1,300. So in conclusion, in this video, we've shown the relationship between claim volatility, loss volatility, and retention levels. As you can see, the retention decision can have a very significant impact on one's finances. As always, if you have any further questions, we here at Sigma would be more than happy to assist you however possible. For expanded information, please see the resources listed along with this video or contact Sigma Actuarial Consulting Group at support@sigmaactuary.com. Thank you for taking time to watch this retention levels and volatility training video from RISK66.